What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 26th day of September, and here we are at about $2.74, a little bit above there, actually. 10 hours, 26 minutes left in the day. Quite the move down yesterday, 6% to the downside, 6.2% to the downside. Here we are right now, just kind of neutral on the day. It is Friday. We're coming up to the weekend here, Saturday, Sunday. Some very neutral days historically. I wouldn't expect that we do too much between now and the end of the week, but it is possible that we go lower or bounce from here a little bit. I do very much believe that we have lower to go. I was saying this. We were talking about this back here at the high, and even right here, is that sometimes you bounce, sometimes you get a double bottom, and sometimes you even get a triple bottom, but never ever is there such a thing as a quadruple bottom. No, there's no such thing as a quadruple bottom. Quadruple bottoms are just inevitable breakdowns. That's what they are, right? So XRP is going to zero. No, it's not going to go to zero, but it is going to go a little bit lower. It's likely going to go lower than this range here. Is this a descending triangle? I don't think it is. I wouldn't call it a descending triangle, but it might behave as one without the measure move. You're obviously going to break through here. You do have a flat base with descending highs. That's not a good look in itself, so I would think that we have a little bit lower to go. Measuring out from the most relevant low to high Fibonacci extension here. Low to high here. This one as well. Low to high. Your 1272s come in line together pretty well. The 1618 down there at about 239, 244, something in that area could be where we go as well. I want to take this, let's see. Let's lock this in. That'd be the lowest target I'd expect. This would be the highest target I would expect. Anything and everything in between is fair game. We delete this. We delete this, and we look back. That takes us right in this range where we found resistance before, resistance here, support there. Some resistance and turbulence here as well. I think it would make more sense to stop closer to this 257 level rather than this 238 level. I don't think that we go that low. If you look here, we take our overall low to high fib retracement here. The golden ratio is right in between both of these lines here, so that kind of lines up well. You don't have to go to the golden ratio. Just because you go to the 0.5 or lower doesn't mean you have to go to the golden ratio. We really could find support right here. It's quite possible. But at this point in time, it's kind of up in the air as far as how low we're going to go. We're at $2.74 now. I do believe we'll see prices below $2.60, but I don't believe we'll go below $2.40 personally. Lower. If XRP goes that low, how much of a percentage drop is that? 6% to 13%. Man, if XRP drops 6 to 13%, the average altcoin is going to drop 10 to 20% probably. Somewhere in that range. That's crazy. We still got more. Does that make sense? Let's see. The average altcoin. Yeah, I could see it, man. I could see it. 10 to 20% sounds about right. Crazy. Even with yesterday's drop. That's crazy. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Looking at the indicators now, looking at the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame. Come on now. Load up for us. Let's go. Come on, RSI. You can do it. There we go. Really, it's the RSI that I'm waiting for. Nothing else really matters. Lower lows here in the price, higher lows in the RSI. That is bullish divergence. That might be why we've seen this little pop up over the last 2 hours. I don't think there's anything too significant going on. Let's look at Ripple here. Let's type it in. Now live for BlackRock's Biddle VanEck V-Bill. So that's cool, but that's not really, I don't think that's why you're pumping. Yeah, nothing really. Ending Q3 on a high note through Ripple's partnerships with Securitize. Now, yeah, they're hyping that up a lot. Okay, cool. Yeah, no real reason for this move up other than I think just some bullish divergence. You've been beaten up over the past day, so you're getting a little bit of a reprieve. I don't think this continues going higher, too much higher, but I do believe that you have a little bit more to go. Looking at the RSI here, Maybe you come down a little bit, but you continue to go higher. The stochastics make me think that you have a little bit higher to go. And the MACD, while it's flipped green, sure, you could do the same thing. So looking at this from a high to a low, my expectation would be $2.81 to $2.90, somewhere, anywhere, and everywhere in between that area. That's kind of the zone that I would think. It's very possible that we do go all the way up to about what is that, 288, 290, something in this area here. Find resistance where we found resistance before. I can see that happening right at the golden ratio, and then we finally move down. It's our lower. It's time to move lower. Maybe we do this over the weekend. Maybe we do this by the end of the day. But I would assume that we see some kind of price action return to at least 281 or higher. Nothing higher than 291 though. And then we'll probably move back down. If we do move higher, if we do get above 291, that's exciting, but I wouldn't be convinced, right? I want to wait for Bitcoin. I want to wait and see what Bitcoin does and what the other chart does before we get too excited. I obviously don't think that we get above this high. If we were to get above this high at all, that would make me really excited that the low is in, but I don't think it's going to happen. At least not before we go lower. Looking at the 4-hour time frame here, stochastics look like they want to come up. The RSI is bouncing off the oversold zone. MACD is bearish, but you're decaying in bearish momentum. I mean, come up a little bit, right? Just like we were saying. That's what it looks like. You want to come up a little bit before you make your final plunge into the oversold zone. Sometimes with the stochastics, you do this and you can come up a little bit and then you still go lower. Maybe you find some resistance at the 50 or something, you come up a little bit and then you go lower, something like that, right? 281 to 290. That's where I think you're going to go. And then you'll move down to 260 to 240, somewhere in that range, probably closer to 255. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. The only thing that I will say is the same thing that I always say at the end of these videos, which is that I do believe that XRP is on the precipice of greatness. I really do think that we're about to see some truly spectacular price action take place. We just got to hold out and be patient and wait. This bearish formation here, this kind of flat base with descending highs, we'll break out of it real quick, and then as soon as we break out, we'll come up. I think a lot of people are going to do this thing where they draw the measure move, right, which would be the top to the bottom of the pattern. You take the high to the low. Oh, I didn't know that that was on there. You take the high to low, and then you measure down. That would take us all the way down to about $2. There's going to be a lot of people, I think, if I'm correct in assuming what the average person's going to think. I try to put myself in that position. Like, what would the average person who's maybe new to technical analysis, they think they know what they're doing, or they haven't put a lot of time into the XRP chart, so they're just lazy and they give you this measure move stuff. Not that the measure moves don't work. They do work, but I don't think that's what we're going to see here. I think especially with everything else that we've looked at, XRP is not going to drop all the way back down to $2.10, you guys. That just, to me, that doesn't make sense. It could happen, and XRP is still fine, but to me, that doesn't make sense. So I just try to think, what's the simple thing that maybe a lot of people who either know what they're doing but they're not trying, or people who don't know what they're doing and they are trying, what would be the simple thing that people would look at? And this is it. I think $2.08 is that area that a lot of people are going to expect, which therefore to me validates the contrarian look to that we would actually stop somewhere a little bit higher, right? There's people who are thinking we're going to hold this area for support, but they're going to be wrong because there's no such thing as quadruple bottoms. There's people who are going to think that when we break this, we see the measure move, but they're going to be wrong because we're going to hold support here. We have various reasons to find support there. It doesn't need to see the measure move. I don't think that we see the measure move. Anyways, all I'm trying to say there, you guys, is I highly doubt that we go to $2.08. Don't believe anybody who says that we are. I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care. We will be running to $13 and beyond by the end of this year, if not earlier. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.